All right, so if you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably heard that Tesla released information on its Tesla Model Y 2025, codenamed Juniper, which, by the way, are we still going with these code names? Because I've gotten a bunch of backlash for using Highland. I'm sitting in my 2024 Model 3, which its code name was the Highland Edition. So I don't know, are we still using these code names like Juniper, Highland, or should we just be referring to them as the year that they came out? I don't know. You let me know down in the comments below. But nonetheless, I wanted to share my thoughts with you on what I think about the new Model Y coming out here in the next couple of months to the North American market. They have released sales for the Asia Pacific markets. So there's a bunch of pictures. We no longer have to go off of assumptions, theories, leaks. We know exactly what the car looks like now. We know what it feels like. We know how much it's going to cost us as well. So, off the bat, I'm not a huge fan of the design. The side profile looks very similar to the current Model Y. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the front end design and the rear end. Those got a pretty decent refresh, and I don't know if I really like it as much. I'm looking at some pictures here. I have my laptop. The back end of the car, it's very different. It's kind of looking almost like it's very similar to some of the Hyundais that I've seen, the Hyundais and the Kias. Um, I mean, it will grow on me, I'm sure, but like right off the bat, just first impressions, I'm like 50-50 with it. I don't know if I love the rear end design. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. Very different, and I don't know if I love it. The side profile of the car looks pretty much the exact same, and the front of the car also got a complete new redesign as well here. So the front end now has a complete redesign. It has a light bar kind of looking feel, almost like a robo-taxi Cybertruck vibe going on there. I mean, it's not bad either. It's very different. I do like the front end way better than I like the rear of the car. So, I mean, the designs are okay, not bad. The front, if you look close enough, you should see a front forward camera right here. That's very interesting. That's something that the 2024 Model 3 did not include, and I wish it did, but it does not. That's only going to help and enhance with Tesla's full self-driving software. That will help tremendously with making decisions on the road while full self-driving is engaged. In the current Model 3s and the Model Ys, I believe as well, there's a front-facing camera on the top of the vehicle, but not on the bumper, not lower to the ground. So the fact that they added a front-facing camera on the bumper of the car is huge. I think that's going to help with FSD a lot. I'm really excited to see what that looks like on the road and in practical situations. That's a really interesting one. Let's see. So it's an all-wheel drive redesign from end to end. So from the front bumper to the taillight, the exterior is completely redesigned to unlock maximum efficiency so you can get the most range out of every charge. So that's another thing is like there is a aspect of this design that provided us with better mileage and better charge. So, you can't subtract that away from the design that they chose. If you're getting more capacity per charge for the mileage, that's a huge win in my book, right? I mean, you want the car to look nice, but also if you're gaining efficiency, which as a customer you would expect, right, at this point in time for EVs to have better mileage as they continue to release new hardware. So if with this new design it means that we're getting more charge, so be it. I'm cool with the rear end of the car. I'm okay with the design overall. So it looks like they added perhaps double pane glass. I know on the Model 3s for 2024, the ones that were released last year, did include double pane glass, so it made acoustics better. This car is super quiet. When I drive this car, it is just it's very quiet. Highway noise is very reduced compared to the old Model 3s, from what I've heard. This is my first Tesla, so I haven't driven any other Tesla except for the 3. So while I'm giving you this opinion, keep that in mind. That's something important to know is that this is my first Tesla, but also my first EV. So this is perspectives of a fresh new Tesla owner, a fresh new EV owner. But I do like the double pane glass. It does help with noise reduction a lot, and it just makes your driving experience a lot more comfortable. So it looks like they added at least double pane glasses from what I can see. It says here, step inside, close the door, and experience the vast silence offered by specially engineered acoustic glass. Gotta love marketing. Queue up your favorite songs and listen to your cabin. Yeah, so anti-gravity. Front and rear touchscreens, put all your comfort settings within the reach. That's something that's new as well. I don't think that the current Model Ys have a screen in the back, but let me know if I'm wrong on that. The new Model Ys do, which is awesome. The Model 3 2024 has that in the back, and it's pretty cool. I rarely have passengers in the back seat, so it's kind of a hit or miss for me. But when I do have passengers in the back seat, it's a cool, neat feature, especially if you do Uber or Lyft or something like that. You can kind of sync up. That what happens is your GPS syncs up and it shows your route on the rear screen. So the passengers that you're driving to your destination or to their destination, what have you, they can kind of follow along real time. So that's kind of cool that they added that. They did add power reclining seats to the back row, which is really cool. That's awesome. So second row seats fold flat to expand your trunk space to a total of 2130 liters of storage. Liters? Is that how you pronounce that word? I don't know. Hands-free trunk automatically unlocks as you approach, so you can easily store all your gear. So that's cool. Let's see here. That's the rear screen. So that's awesome. I do like that a lot. You know, the fact that they added that in there is really cool, and it just makes life a little bit cooler in the back when you're driving. If you have passengers, or like I said, if you're doing ride shares, that's huge. So ventilated seats. It looks like they did add in ventilated seats. My 2024 Model 3 also has that, and it is fantastic. It is super awesome to have that, especially in the hot summer months. It just kind of blows cool air right at you, and it is awesome. It is a really, really awesome feature. So the updated interior still features a 15.4-inch touchscreen, so it's the same size as previous models, but also includes an 8-inch rear touchscreen for all versions of the vehicle, so that rear screen's awesome. It looks like Tesla also added improved connectivity to the vehicle, improving the range for the phone key, clear calls, and faster cellular and Wi-Fi connectivity. So that's cool. That chipset improves just overall dynamics of the vehicle and controls of the car, especially for wireless capabilities like making phone calls, GPS, routing, real-time routing, weather radar, now that they've included that in the new software update. So that's cool that they upgraded their chipset. Oh, this one here. So the turn signal stalk. This is something that is very controversial. And I, being a owner of the Tesla Model 3 2024, love the fact that they remove stalks. I know that's a super controversial statement. I think most people really enjoy the stalks. I happen to absolutely love the minimal design without it. I got used to these buttons here. For me, it's amazing. I just love the look. I can understand how you might not like that. So I think based off of customer feedback from what I had read is that they reintroduced stocks back into the Model Y 2025. The only stock that they did introduce is the turn stock though. So in order to change gears, you still do that from the touchscreen, or you have the auto shift function that Tesla provides. So there is at least one stock from what we know of in the Model Y coming out. And like I said, I love it without the stock. I got used to it. In my area, I even have a bunch of roundabouts too, and I still got used to using the button feature of the turn signals for you know, turning in and out of the roundabouts if I have to, or if I'm turning, I know exactly which button to press to activate left or right turn signals. So I don't know. I think I'm definitely the minority on this. I wish they kept it out, but I understand also why they put that back in. So I'm curious though. Let me know down in the comments below if you're team stock or team no stock. For me, like I said, definitely no stock for me is better. Um, Handling. So just like the Model 3 refresh, Tesla has worked some magic on the suspension, improving vehicle handling and comfort, while also offering more responsive steering and an even quieter ride. So this is another thing, is that when you buy a Model Y, typically you buy it because it has more space. I think it might be rated a little bit more on the safer side, so it has better safety ratings. Model 3 is super sporty, right? It even looks like that. So when you buy the Model Y, the fact that they've included better suspension, better handling is great. That's awesome. I like the way the Model 3 drives. Uh, Super sporty, super fast, cuts corners really nicely. It's smaller form factor, so you kind of have to know what you're buying, right? The Model Y is a great family car, by the way. Super awesome family car if that's what, if you're buying the Model Y to drive your kids around town, take road trips with the family, right? That's an awesome function of the car. You can still do that in the Model 3. It's just nowhere near as comfortable as it would be in the Model Y. You have more space, more cabin space, more luggage, more trunk space. So, it's different experiences, but the fact that they made handling better in the Model Y is really awesome. Really, really incredible. So here we're looking at a chart for the specs. So 2024 all-wheel drive had 501 kilometers. 2024 long-range rear-wheel drive had 525 kilometers. So it looks like the Juniper, here's another reference of that code name. So I guess people are still using it. Um, so the all-wheel drive looks like it's 551 kilometers for the all-wheel drive, and the rear-wheel drive has 466 kilometers. Looking at the Launch Series edition, so this is something I think Tesla does. I think they did this with the Cybertruck as well. It's kind of a unique release, or a set of unique traits on some of their vehicles that they release in the very beginning of the deployment of a new car. So for the Foundation Series trucks, Cybertrucks, they did a bunch of small things that uniquely identified the first production line of those cars, and so I think they'll be doing something very similar for the Model Y. You'll get an exclusive Launch Series badge on the rear liftgate and dorsal plate. Looks like the badging shows up in the puddle lights too. The charging console also has a launch as a word mark on the trim. So that's really kind of a marketing effort, I think, on their behalf, which is fine. That's not a problem. I mean, I think that's a cool way to identify the first push to production of cars. So if you do end up getting the very first fleet of vehicles that they release, um, you have some cool kind of launch series artifacts to show off. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so here are some really cool photos of the interior of the car. Right off the bat, you could see that the turn signal stalk is present. It's there. It's like an eyesore for me, but it is what it is. Minimal design. It looks a lot like my Model 3. The trimming around the charging station for your phone here is different though. So the trimming is unique, I think, to the Model Y. Here in my Model 3, I just have a kind of a pseudo leather, fake leather feel. This more looks like a plastic trim, which is cool. It looks really great. It looks very similar though. The steering wheel looks pretty much the same as my Model 3. The interior looks the same. Um, Let me go to the next photo here. This is it in white here. Awesome, awesome look. Again, super similar to the Model 3. Beautiful looking interior. Beautiful looking interior. You have a lot more headspace, which you would imagine to be true with the Model Y. So a lot more cabin space, but still looks awfully like the Model 3. It just looks like the Model 3 that was stretched up and out. I mean, everything looks very much the same. So pricing, the refreshed Model Y is live already on Tesla websites in Asia Pacific regions. So if you go to tesla.com and you switch regions to Asia Pacific, you'll see the Model Y pop up right away. It looks like in Australia, pricing for the rear wheel drive trim starts at 63.4, which equals to US dollars 39.3. So 39,300 at current exchange rates, while the Launch Edition long range all wheel drive will cost us about 45,500 US dollars. So you're looking at 39,300 for the standard rear wheel drive, and then 45,500 for the long range. So it looks like the trims are actually a little bit more than they were on the legacy models. It looks like the rear wheel drive went up $4,600 on the rear wheel trim, and then the long range went up by $2,200. So definitely a little bit more, especially that's a pretty decent increase for the rear wheel drive trim. You're looking at 4,600 bucks higher than it was in the outgoing model. Overall though, I think the Model Y 2025 looks awesome. I'm a little hesitant on the design. I think pictures are always a hit or miss, right? We haven't really seen real world videos, pictures, or documents of the car. We've just seen, the marketed effort of Tesla releasing the images and the videos. So we'll see how it actually looks in real life. Even just videos of other YouTubers getting a hold of the Model Y, it's going to look a little bit different than what you'll probably see on the Tesla website. Less processed, less enhanced, more raw. So we'll see. The front end, I'm a little bit iffy on. The rear end, I'm a little bit iffy on. Everything else I like except for the stalk. I'm a little upset that they introduced that. But again, I totally understand why a lot of people really enjoy having the turning stalk. I'm just not one of them. So you know, I was hoping that they would exclude that. But again, I totally get why they included that. Most customers complained and wanted that back. So I'm excited to see it in person in the next couple of months. Hopefully, we could start seeing it in North America. I would probably say in the next 3 to 5 months, somewhere in that window, since they're just releasing to the Asia Pacific markets. But yeah, let me know what you think about the new Model Y 2025 and whether or not you are thinking about getting it if you are a Tesla owner right now looking to upgrade, or if this is a big enough change for you to jump into a Tesla for the first time. Let me know. Curious what you thought. Thanks again for tuning in to today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.